Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is March 30th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon. Check out this low pressure center here, still spinning over Idaho, impacting some areas of extreme eastern Oregon this morning. That'll come in to an end during the day today, but it is bringing some higher elevation precipitation across Idaho and Montana today. This will eventually be kicking off to the east here, and then the next system is on its way. It's moving off into the Gulf of Alaska. It's a next trough. It's going to set up shop here across the Pacific Northwest here. Thunderstorm chance, heavy mountain snows. We'll take a look at those details. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as always as well. Looking at Seattle yesterday, 61 degrees, nowhere near that record high, but it was quite a nice day. Had some nice sunshine out there, 5 degrees above average, but that cool down is coming starting today and really kicks in tomorrow. This is looking at snow water equivalent. A lot of the areas doing fairly well here, a little bit below average across some of Washington, but not too bad here. It doesn't directly correlate to drought conditions, but it's definitely better than being below average here across the state of Oregon. This is current hazards, winter storm watches in effect for the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. These advisories and winter storm warnings are because of that low pressure system over the region currently, and that should be wrapping up as we go through tonight into tomorrow morning across there before the next system starts to kick in. This is looking across some of the central Cascades of Washington, 12 to 24 inches above 2,500 feet. So here we go. Get ready for those winter driving conditions across much of the Cascades here as we go on in through Sunday evening, starting Saturday morning. Actually Friday afternoon. They're even mentioning it here. But the snows by Saturday morning are really going to start to be piling up across the area. This is for the Oregon Cascades. I just picked a point somewhere in the central Cascades there, and they're talking about heavy snow above 3,000 feet. You see the big totals, 19 to 43 inches, wind gusting to 40 miles per hour. So a heads up there if you are going to be off in the backcountry or across the pass areas. This is looking at a 500 millibar, somewhere up towards 18,000 feet. There's BC, Washington, Oregon here, Pacific Ocean. You can see that next trough on its way across the Gulf of Alaska into the Pacific Northwest here. Look at this thing just take up residence here right on top of us in western Washington, western Oregon as we go on in through Monday shown there. And it looks like we're going to remain cool here as we go on into next week here coming up. Then we start to get some model disagreement here on this next trough here. We'll take a look at what the European has to show about that as well. We're looking a little bit far out at this point here. So let's just try to concentrate on one thing at a time. We'll go through this trough here and then we'll see what's going to come up here over the next few days. But we will look at the European here in a moment. This is looking at the NAM3KM high resolution model here, max 10 meter wind gusts. If we put this into motion, you'll see that frontal system start to come in Friday and the gusty winds start to pick up shown there. Some gusts up towards 50, maybe along the immediate coastline coming up there. A little bit better for southwest Oregon. Just blustery conditions across the Willamette Valley, Puget Sound, some of the higher terrain getting some better gusts, but nothing too extreme here. You can see some gusty winds across eastern Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana as well, but nothing, too much out of the normal. This is looking at European 6-hour precipitation, and this is sea level pressure here. You can see that system winding its way down as we go into Friday morning here, some residual showers. But by Friday morning, you can see this precipitation start to pick up across the Cascades here in the form of snowfall. And by the time you go on into late Friday night, Saturday morning, that frontal passage brings some pretty good amounts all the way down to the Oregon Cascades into Northern California. And another good shot of snowfall for eastern Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana. Higher terrain coming through here as we go through this weekend. Then you can kind of see the trough and the onshore flow going on here. Thunderstorm potential Saturday, Sunday. And this is looking at that thunderstorm potential coming up here through Saturday and Sunday. Let's put this into motion here. By the time we get to Saturday, late morning, afternoon, you can see this potential for a few thunderstorms popping up across the area here. And we're going to do that again Sunday, as you can see here. The threat of some lightning and thunder, some small hail, and some gusty winds, but nothing too extreme. This is looking at total snow 10-to-1 ratio last night's European run. You can see that snow occurring with the system across Idaho, Montana, especially the higher terrain. And then the next system as we go through Friday morning here. And watch by the time we get on into Saturday morning, these amounts really start to pile up across the Cascades, including Oregon Cascades as well. Coastal ranges getting some decent amounts also. Additional snowfall for the Blue Mountains on through Idaho, the Panhandle, Northeast Washington. A very nice snowmaker here, especially for late March/early April coming up. British Columbia is going to get some nice snow for its coastal ranges as well. This is looking at things a little bit closer here, and you can see some of the higher peaks here. I mean, just getting up 3-4 feet on some, Mount Rainier as you get up the slopes a little bit higher there. And again, maybe a 1 to 2 feet here for Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass, and maybe some of the higher foothills here. You're seeing some snow mix in there a bit as well as some snow pellets down anywhere those thunderstorms may form. This is looking at Seattle, Tacoma. You can see maybe some low mid-50s here. Then the cool down coming this weekend on in through early next week. Portland, similar picture there. This is looking at the extended forecast here. Yesterday afternoon's European run. There goes that system across Idaho and Montana. Then that next trough sets up shop here across Pacific Northwest, reinforces itself a bit as we go through early next week. Kind of a cool northerly flow here, but then the European wants to build, or at least as of yesterday afternoon, wants to build a ridge over us here across Pacific Northwest, and I wouldn't have many qualms about that. I could enjoy some nice weather after this cool winter/spring we've been having here. And then looking off into the future, it's just kind of fantasy land at this point. But we'll work out some of these details here, and we'll see if this persists and see if we can make this a trend here and build some ridging over the Pacific Northwest as we go through maybe the following weekend here. This is looking at the 6-hour max temperature for Seattle, and you can see the cool down coming as we go through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then starting to bounce back slowly, but some warmer temperatures potentially as we go on in through maybe next weekend and the following week. We'll watch that as it comes, but you can see some of those warmer temperatures kind of showing up in some of these ensemble runs here. So cross your fingers if you want a little bit of sunshine here coming up. But yeah, you can see the variability also here as well. Some of these ensemble members do have chillier temperatures around. So we'll see how this trends over the next few days. This is 6 to 10 day temperature outlook through April 8th. Still have that below average signal through about April 8th there. This is 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, kind of bullseyed on Oregon, California, Nevada. But then look at this, 8 to 14 day precipitation out through April 12th. We dry out a bit here across Pacific Northwest. We'll see how this trends again, just kind of looking out in fantasy land a bit there. And I've been covering this the last couple days as well. The seasonal temperature outlooks that came out March 16th do have the West Coast with an above average summer coming up here, and you can see that signal even get stronger there in August, September, and even persist into October there. So we'll see how this trends. We have plenty of time to watch that at this point. Just kind of a heads up here what the early signals are showing. So anyway, here goes that next trough. Eyes on the sky. Watch out for those small snow pellet showers, the small hail showers with those thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday. And we'll just watch that mountain snow pile up here and try to build up that snow water equivalent across the Cascades, keep the drought conditions at bay best we can. And anyway, click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.